And David goes, oh yeah, that was, it had to be alien. I said, sir, with all due respect, that was how the Lockheed skunk works.
Really? That made the craft?
Yeah, that was one of ours.
And
he is now.
So because Fravor wouldn't say that now.
Oh, he did say so recently.
But in front of Congress, he says that.
He's been told since then. He's corrected. So I said, no, that came out of the Lockheed Skunk Works. It's one of ours. It was something that they did on purpose to see this global organization, to see how our military would react.
So you think that Tic Tac was Lockheed Skunk Works? Wow.
In the book we're going to give you, there's a very good account of it from 1967 over Pennsylvania, and we have a whistleblower who saw it being offloaded out of a big ship out of the in 1991, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's ours.
That was.
And then later, very recently, a Lockheed executive admitted to David Fravor that was theirs.
Really?
So, but I knew from the first time I saw it. I said, "Oh, we were CNN." I go, "That's not extraterrestrial. It's one of ours."
What?
So this is a video from the Soul Forum. It's their YouTube channel. It'll be linked down below, as well as Jesse Michaels and everything else from where I pulled this footage from. You guys could go check it out. But in this YouTube interview, Jim Semivan is being interviewed again. And while it's the same interview that's been going around, this is the full interview that's just been released today. And in this interview, Jim talks about, and he's an ex-CIA agent. He's been in the CIA for a long time. I believe it was like 25 years, if I'm not mistaken. And he talks about UFO technology, us back engineering, and he doesn't believe we've gotten very far in back engineering this tech, that it's just so far out there that, yeah, we haven't moved very far. So let me play this clip for you, and then we'll come back and talk.
So everybody's in sort of a race to do that. Everybody's trying to protect that information. So you have that aspect of it, that the national security aspect of it. And then you have the source protection issues. And then you also have, sources and methods. How are you going about doing this? What are you actually doing to investigate, UAP? How is the technology you're applying to this topic working? Is it working or is it not working? Or are you applying a particular technology you certainly wouldn't want the Russians to know that you're applying because you're making some headway on this? So it's anybody's guess how far we've come in 80 years. My personal opinion is not very far. And I don't think anybody has. I think the technology is so far removed from what we are familiar with that I think if there was any kind of, let's say, critical breakthroughs in technology, we would have seen it. We would have seen it in weapon systems already. And I mean, I don't think for a minute that Russia would be conducting the war in Ukraine and losing all those people if they had a, overwhelming capacity to do what the hell they wanted, in, Ukrainian airspace. So, they're not saving it. Nobody saves this kind of stuff. You hide it, but you don't save it. People know about it. Ask Peter Cook, or one of the guys who works for, aviation magazines and stuff. They'll tell you there's always hints somewhere what you have, what people have or what they're working on. So,
okay. So that gives us, I think, a really good insider's perspective on why there would be a lot of reticence from the intelligence community and the Department of Defense, certain components in there to participate even in a congressionally driven disclosure effort, even if there's a law passed.
All right, now that you heard what the ex-CIA agent had to say about it, and what he says makes a lot of sense, right? Yeah, Russia and Ukraine doing their thing, and if they had back engineered this stuff, they had some kind of back engineering back engineered any kind of exotic material, you would have seen hints, you would have seen signs of that. No way are they looking at losing a bunch of their, people and stuff like that in this fight, and they're not pulling out their best gear, right? So yeah, I agree with him. You would see signs of this or that, some flight capabilities, some weaponry, something, right? And we haven't seen signs of anything. So with that being said, you kind of steer more towards Jeremy Corbell, right? You kind of do. But then this came out. You see, it's hard to stay on top of this stuff because it's a topic that's constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. But Jesse Michaels just dropped a tweet 53 minutes ago, and this tweet says Professor Simon with an interesting argument that the 2004 Nimitz Tic Tac was man-made. State-of-the-art aerogel vacuum tube drone employed by DOE NRO. What do you guys think? You guys, I don't even know now, because with this right here, and he's a well-respected individual in this community, in the ufology whole area, and that just kind of backs what Ross Coulthard, Stephen Greer, and those guys are saying, right? And our Senator Eric Burleson.
I now know categorically that the Tic Tac is Lockheed Martin technology.
Okay.
Yeah, we're pursuing a hearing date. We have got a list of people that we're looking at. We're actually looking at doing potentially two. One with some people that are direct whistleblowers, people that have had, when I say direct, they've had eyes directly on or have personally encountered UAP in their formal operation. Not somebody out and about like Joe Blow out there that saw something. There's thousands and thousands of people like that. Sure. We're talking about people that worked for the Pentagon or worked in a government program where they worked in and around this technology, whether it was through crash retrieval or through reverse engineering. That's what we're pursuing right now. The next hearing after that is where we're gonna, once we're able to get information, we're looking at doing some interrogatories, which is where you take some of the things that have been said in these briefings, in these hearings, in these open hearings under oath, and then we send a letter, a formal letter as a committee, asking for answers from, whether it's Tulsi Gabbard or whomever it is that we need to be asking these questions of, and then which would set up the potential second hearing, which would hopefully be able to include people like Tulsi Gabbard to be able to come forward. And I've been told that she's a friendly when it comes to this topic, that she wants disclosure. She wants to help bring about disclosure on this topic.